Hi everyone, it's Mike here from Active Training World, and this is the online briefing video for the Fambridge Beast in the East Triathlon taking place on July the 4th. Right, so before we start, I just want to say how unique this event is. We're really looking forward to holding this. It's the first time that we've held this event. We took over responsibility for it this year from Denji Events. And yeah, it is so unique. The transition area, I've never personally taken part in a triathlon with a transition area so unique as this. Basically, you are surrounded by huge yachts. It's a yacht yard, and your transition, your bike racking and everything is all taking place in the yacht yard. So yeah, really unique, and I'm sure most of you will be having a sort of a very different experience in terms of sort of like the triathlon that we're going to have here, especially around the transition. Anyway, so let's crack on with with all the information you're going to need for this. So the event itself, car parking on the day will be open from just before 7 a.m. Okay, the registration will be open from 7 a.m. The car parking is in a field, and at the entrance to the field we will be asking for a donation of £2, which is going to go to the local RNLI group. And we do ask that if possible, if you could bring a couple of coins just to chuck into a donation bin, that would be really helpful for us and keep everybody moving. Unfortunately, we can't do it contactless, but yeah, if you could just bring a couple of coins just to chuck into a donation bucket, that would be great. The event itself then, registration opens at 7 and will be open till around 8:15 in the morning. So after you've parked up, you're going to bring your bike and all your kit and everything down to the headquarters area, the event headquarters. It'll all be signposted, really obvious where to go, and if in any doubt, ask one of the marshals. There's plenty of marshals around. At registration, when you enter the registration desk, when you go to the registration desk, you will be given a white envelope, and on your envelope will have your number and your name. Please check to make sure you've got the right name. Inside it, you will find two race numbers. You will also find a swim cap, and you will also find 2 stickers. Okay, I'll tell you in a minute what all those are for. You will also be given at registration a timing strap, an ankle strap, and also a timing chip, which you put on that ankle strap, and you attach that to your left ankle. The reason you put it on your left ankle is that when you're on the bike, it doesn't get mangled and get caught on your chain or any of the gears, which is possible, and it would cause you to have an accident. So please put that on your left ankle. So back to the stuff you've been given at registration. Your swim cap, fairly straightforward. You wear that for the swim. And the numbered labels, one of those will be for your helmet, and the other one is for the top tube of your bike. This is so that we can identify whose equipment belongs to whom in the transition area, and most importantly, when you're checking out at the end of the event, we want to make sure everyone takes home their own stuff. You'll also get 2 race numbers. So your race numbers, one gets worn on the front and one gets worn on the back. Okay, the front is required for the run section of the event, and the number on the back is required for the bike section of the leg. So it's perfectly acceptable. Many of you wear number belts. Just wear one number on a number belt, and then you can rotate it round from back to front for the different sections. Okay, but if you don't have a number belt, you just want to wear a cycle top or something, or t-shirt, then that's absolutely fine. Just wear one on the front and one on the back. Numbers will be, pins will be provided in those packs as well. If you do require any additional pins, then just ask for them at registration. We will also be asking you to write your number on the back of your hand, on your left hand. This is so that in the event of an emergency in the swim, we can identify your race number very easily, and hopefully we won't have to, but if we ever did, then we'd be easily identifiable by that large number written on the back of your hand. Okay, we will be providing marker pens for you to do this with at a separate desk. There will also be sanitizing gel available, obviously, to keep you safe from other people who have been touching those pens and using them. Okay. We do have an official photographer who is going to be there on the day catching pictures of your great achievements. If for any reason anybody doesn't want their pictures taken, then you can request a wristband from registration, and if you wear that wristband, make sure it's visible, and then the photographers will know that either not to take photos of you. If in the event they did accidentally take any photos of you, they'd be able to delete them and we won't publish them. If also when we publish the photos, because we just stick them on Facebook, so they're easily available for you to download, so you can keep them for yourself. If you don't want any of those pictures to be published, so when you see it you go, I just don't want that there for whatever reason, then just contact us and we can remove it for you. Okay. In terms of spectators, is one of the questions we get asked a lot now. Spectators are now allowed to be at our events. However, we do ask that they are sensible, okay, and that they stay socially distanced when they arrive. And also maybe just question whether or not you actually need to bring lots of spectators. Obviously, we don't recommend that you bring the whole family with you to spectate at the event. We don't want to have large crowds gathering, and we do want to keep everybody socially distanced. So please just consider and take your own judgment call on just how many people are coming to watch you and cheer you on. But you are allowed now to bring them, but we do ask that they stay socially distanced and respect all the guidelines when they're at the event, and keep everyone safe, please. Headphones aren't allowed to be worn at the events under British Triathlon rules, so for any of the sections, swim, bike or run, no headphones are allowed to be allowed of any sort. Okay, so you've got all your stuff that's now picked up from the registration area. You've stuck your stickers onto your bike and your helmet. You've put your ankle chip on your ankle. You've got your number attached to your shirt or your number belts, or whatever you're using. Now you're going to enter into the transition area to rack your bike, all right? So make sure as you enter into transition, there will be marshals there checking for you to demonstrate that your bike is roadworthy. In particular, what they'll be looking for is the fact that all of the tape on the handlebars is all secure, nothing flapping around all over the place and loose. And also they'll ask you to check your brakes and demonstrate the brakes to them, just to make sure that you've got a roadworthy bike, okay? Once you've gone into your transition area, all of the racking for the bikes will be numbered, and you'll be asked to rack at your location, okay? And it corresponds to your race number. You'll need to rack your bike by the seat so that the handlebars are pointing towards you, all right? Then on by your front wheel, which will be angling down to the ground, that's where you put in your trainers and anything you need for the bike shoes, whatever. You put all your helmet and all that kind of stuff down on the ground there, or you balance it on your bike, it's up to you. But that is where you put all of your other equipment. Please don't bring large bags into transition or boxes or anything like that. It just clutters up the whole area. If you do bring a small bag with you, then we do ask that you just put that to the side of the transition area, so it's not in the way of everybody else who's taking part in the race. Okay. In terms of the transition area will be closing for all competitors I'm just checking up the time on this one to make sure I get this one right. So it will be closing at 8:15. Okay, so 7 AM is when registration is open. Registration will close at 8:15, but then that is also the time that transition will be closing as well, because it's an 8:30 start. So please do leave yourself plenty of time to make sure that you register on time and have time to rack your bike, etc. You don't want to be rushing around last minute trying to get everything done. So 8:15 is when the transition area will close, and that is also the time that we'll be calling people to the pre-start area ready for the swim. Now the swim at this one is a challenging swim. It's in a tidal river, okay, and it is held around the period of high tide. So we get you in just before high tide, and then around the turn of the high tide is while you're swimming. And the reason that is done is to make it that the tidal impact in the river is to minimise that as much as possible and enable you to have a nice safe swim. You'll be swimming amongst yachts which are potentially going to be moored out in the river there. It is a marina type environment. So yet again, really unique. There's not many triathlons where you get to actually swim amongst the yachts while you're actually racing in the event. So we will set you off. In fact, before then, you'll be allowed to get in the water if you want to. It's totally optional. If you want to get in the water with 10 minutes before the start, we will allow you to. please don't go swimming off down the river. Just stay around the start area. This is just to enable you to acclimatise to the water temperature, and some people like to flush their wetsuits with some water. Regarding the wearing of wetsuits, we will be abiding by British Triathlon guidelines on whether wetsuits are mandatory or not allowed. I'd be really surprised if either of those came into play at this event. Weather has been reasonable recently in terms of water temperature, so I would envisage that wetsuits will be optional. However, there is the possibility if we were to get a really, really hot spell that they wouldn't be allowed, or alternatively that they would be mandated if it did suddenly go really cold. So please do bring your wetsuit with you. If you're in any doubt whatsoever, there is a link in the final race information with a link to the British Triathlon website. It has all the rules in there about the temperatures by which the wetsuits are allowed, etc. But I would imagine they are probably going to be optional. Certainly, I recommend that you do bring a wetsuit with you. If at all possible to wear one, I would highly recommend it. Like I say, it is a tidal river that you are swimming with, so anything that can help you in your swim, I would highly recommend doing. So, in turn, you've now done your pre-race, pre-swim water acclimatisation, if you wish to do it. We're going to get you back out again just 5 minutes before the start, and then we will line you up for the pre-start. We have a time trial rolling start process where you'll be starting one at a time in the water, but with a very short gap to the person in front. So we want to try and get you all off into the water as safely as possible, but in as timely a way as possible as well. We don't want to have big, huge gaps there on the start line. Like I say, it is a tidal river. We want to get you in the water as quick as possible. So we'll just line you up and you literally just walk across the start line into the water and off you go swimming. The swim course is a straightforward 2-lap affair. I'm saying it 2-lap yet again. I'm just gonna check this. It is a so it is a 2-lap bike course, 2-lap swim course. Sorry, and it is a 950 meter lap. So you very straightforward rectangular shape. Yeah, I'm sort of saying make sure it's the right shape there. It's a rectangular shape in the water. You come around after one lap and then go around a second time, and then after your 2 laps, you'll then be exiting the water. You run up the to the arch. There'll be a huge arch there as you exit the water for you to run through, and you'll head up into transition. So like I said earlier, the transition itself really unique. It's actually held in a yacht yard, so you'll be surrounded by these huge yachts as you do transition, and then you'll be heading out of the transition area with your bike and heading out towards the bike course. One of the rules of triathlon, if you've not done it before, is you're not allowed to touch your bike in transition until you have your helmet on and firmly secured. So please make sure that you do that, or you'll be picked up by a technical official and you'll be subject to a stop-go penalty. As you leave transition, you're not allowed to mount your bike and get on your bike until you've crossed our mount line. Okay, so yet again, one of the other rules of triathlon is you're not allowed to ride your bike in the transition area, and you're not allowed to get on your bike until you've gone over over the mount line. So you'll cross the mount line, jump on your bike, and then off you go. The bike course is a 2-lap course, but just before you enter the laps, there's sort of an out and back. So you'll go up to the main road, you'll take a left at the top, and then it heads down to a roundabout. You'll do a U-turn, 180 degrees around the roundabout, come back, and then you'll be entering into the 2 laps, okay? So the 2 laps, bit of a strange shape. The reason why we have actually changed the bike course, for those of you who maybe have done this course before, done this event before, and the reason why we've had to change the bike course is because on the same day there is going to be a 50-mile time trial taking place on the Dengie Peninsula. So we've had to change the bike course to make sure that we don't clash with that. They will actually be using the same road as us, but they will be travelling in the opposite direction now. Okay, so if you have done this race before, you thought you knew the bike course, please do familiarise yourself. All the details are in the race information with the links to GPX files, etc. And like I say, it has been designed now to avoid a clash with a 50-mile time trial that's taking place on the same morning. So It's a 2-lap bike course. As you come round to complete the first lap, that is where we will have the drink station out there, feed station. So at the feed station, you'll be able to top up your water bottles. It is self-service. We're not going to be handing bottles out to you. So you'll be able to come in to our gazebo area at the side of the road, and then basically you'll be able to fill up your water bottles with High Five energy drink and also water if you wish, and also stock up on some energy gels. Both for the bike course and the run course, one of the things I want to sort of like emphasise is the fact that we don't accept littering. So it has been a bit of a tendency of some racers in recent years for people to think it's acceptable if they're out on the bike or running to just sort of rip the top off a gel and then just squeeze it in their mouth and drop it on the floor. Anybody who we find littering sort of thing will be disqualified from the race. Okay, it's not acceptable to do that. We need to look after our environment. It's simple enough just to screw up the pack and just tuck it up the inside, tuck it up the end of your shorts or whatever, and take it back to the transition area where you can take it out back at the bike transition. So please don't do any littering out there. We really don't want to be disqualifying anybody, but we want to keep the place clean. Okay, so that's your bike. You'll have completed your bike course. I say 2 laps round, and then you're going to come back into the transition area. You'll be coming back down the hill to the marina area, to the yacht area. You must dismount your bike before the mount line and dismount line, and then you'll be running back into the transition area, yet again surrounded by these amazing yachts. Rule is in reverse regarding your helmet, so you must wrap your bike before you take your helmet off. Take your helmet off, and then you'll head out of the transition area on your run. Okay, so the run is a 6-kilometre lap, and you do that lap 3 times. Now the run itself does go through the garden of a pub, which is superb for your spectators, for other racers who may have already finished, and members of the general public who want to cheer you on. So it's a great course for spectators. You'll get lots of cheering, especially around that pub area. I'm sure people will be enjoying having a nice cool drink after they've raced, but hopefully enjoying some sunshine on a nice July afternoon. When you've completed your 3 laps, you'll be then heading into the finish area. Obviously, we'll have a big finish arch there. You get your medal and other goodies at the finish line to replenish your energy and get you sort of on that road to recovery. This is a fantastic race, guys. Fantastic, what you call it, a middle distance or a half Ironman race distance. Absolutely superb location, just on the outskirts of London here in the Dengie, Essex area. The results will all be going up online as soon as you've finished. Within minutes, they'll be up online for you to scrutinise and have a good look at. If you have got any queries on the day about some of the results, if something doesn't quite look right, then please don't go and hassle the chip timing guys who are trying to manage it all on the day. If you could just drop us an email afterwards, just to sort of point out any anomalies that you think are there, we can sort it all out after the race. We're always able to sort these things out. Okay, so finally, just want to say that we are hugely looking forward to welcoming you down to our Beast in the East, as we're now calling it, Fambridge Triathlon. It's a fantastic race, superb race, and we can't wait to welcome you there. So look forward to seeing you on that Sunday, July the 4th. Goodbye, guys.